March 19th, 2004, Ramadi, Iraq. Marine Corporal James Mitchell crouches on a rooftop, his eye pressed against the unertl scope of his M40A3 sniper rifle. The temperature is 112 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind howls across the Euphrates River Valley at 15 miles per hour. No. 20. No, wait. It's swirling. Through his scope, he watches an insurgent mortar team setting up 800 yards away. They're preparing to rain death on a Marine convoy moving through the city below. Mitchell adjusts his windage knob. He estimates 2 minutes of angle left. He breathes. He squeezes. The rifle barks. The bullet misses by 3 feet. The insurgents scatter. The mortars fire. 4 Marines die in the convoy below. Mitchell slams his fist into the concrete. He's the 3rd Marine sniper to miss a critical shot today. It's not his fault. Not really. The wind in Ramadi changes direction every 50 yards. Heat shimmer makes mirage reading impossible. The standard Marine Corps wind reading techniques, watching grass, feeling it on your face, observing dust, don't work in urban canyons of concrete and rebar. What he doesn't know is that his frustration is about to spark the most controversial innovation in sniper history. The numbers tell a devastating story. In Iraq's urban environments, Marine Scout snipers are achieving only a 31% first-round hit rate at ranges beyond 600 yards. Wind miscalculation accounts for 73% of all misses. Snipers are going through an average of 4.2 rounds per confirmed kill, ammunition they often don't have in protracted firefights. Enemy fighters have learned to move during the 1.5 seconds it takes a sniper to recalculate and fire again. The Marine Corps has lost 14 scout snipers to enemy fire in the past 11 months, men forced to reveal their positions with multiple shots because they couldn't read the wind accurately enough for a one-shot kill. Back at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, the Marine Corps Scout Sniper School is teaching the same wind reading techniques developed in Vietnam 1968. Instructors tell students to watch mirage through their scope, to feel wind on their face, to multiply wind speed by range and divide by a constant. It's analog, it's imprecise. And in Iraq's chaotic urban wind patterns, it's getting Marines killed. What the Marine Corps doesn't know is that a 23-year-old corporal with no engineering degree is about to make their entire wind reading doctrine obsolete. Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, May 2004. The Marine Corps has been trying to solve the wind problem for 60 years. After World War II, the legendary Marine sniper instructor, Chief Warrant Officer Arthur Terry, developed the mirage reading technique, watching heat waves through a spotting scope to estimate wind speed and direction. It works in open terrain. In Vietnam, it saved countless lives. But in Iraq cities, where heat radiates from 1,000 concrete surfaces at different temperatures, mirage becomes a chaotic blur, useless. In 1977, the Marine Corps partnered with Loophole Optics to develop the mil-dot reticle, a scope with precise reference points for estimating range and holdover. It's brilliant for elevation, but it does nothing for wind. A sniper still has to guess wind speed, guess wind direction, and pray the bullet doesn't drift into a building or pass the target entirely. By 2003, the Army's Natick Soldier Research Center has spent $2.3 million developing handheld wind meters, digital devices that measure wind speed at the shooter's position. Snipers hate them. Wind at the firing position means nothing when wind 400 yards downrange is blowing in a completely different direction. The devices are expensive, $800 each, fragile, and require batteries that die in the Iraqi heat. The
expert consensus is clear. There is no practical solution to real-time wind reading in urban combat. Dr. Robert Williams, a ballistics expert at Aberdeen Proving Ground, publishes a paper in May 2004 stating, "Wind presents an inherently chaotic three-dimensional fluid dynamics problem. Without measuring instruments positioned along the entire bullet trajectory, an impossibility in combat. Precision wind compensation remains dependent on shooter experience and environmental intuition." Translation: snipers will always have to guess. Get better at guessing, or accept the misses. The stakes couldn't be higher. Marine Corps after-action reports from Fallujah show that enemy fighters are adapting. They know American snipers struggle with wind. They're timing their movements for the windiest times of day, late afternoon when thermals create unpredictable swirls. They're using the 1.5-second window after a sniper's first miss to escape or return fire. At Marine Corps Base Quantico, a 3-star general convenes an urgent meeting of the Scout Sniper School leadership. "We're training the best marksmen in the world," he says, "and they're missing because of wind. Fix this. I don't care how." The school commandant, a colonel with 22 years of sniper experience, responds with brutal honesty. "Sir, we can't. We're teaching everything we know. Wind reading is an art, not a science. It takes years to master. These kids deploy after 16 weeks of training. There's no technology that can help them." The general slams the table. "Then our kids keep dying. Unacceptable. But there's no solution. The physics are too complex." Real-time wind measurement across 800 yards of urban terrain would require dozens of sensors, wireless communication, portable computing power, and algorithms that don't exist. The technology is decades away, if it's even possible. So, the Marine Corps does what it always does: trains harder, spends longer, demands more from its snipers. In May 2004, the Scout Sniper School increases its wind reading curriculum from 12 hours to 24 hours. Instructors drill students on mirage recognition until their eyes burn. Students fire thousands of rounds in different wind conditions, building muscle memory and intuition. It helps marginally. Hit rates climb from 31% to 34%. 4 more Marines die to missed sniper shots in June. The problem seems insurmountable. 50 years of military research, millions of dollars, and the best minds in ballistics have concluded you cannot reliably read wind in urban combat. But 800 miles away, a corporal is having a very different thought. Corporal James Mitchell doesn't have a college degree. He grew up in Hendersonville, Tennessee, working in his father's HAV repair business. He joined the Marines at 19 because college wasn't for him. He preferred fixing things with his hands. He qualified as a scout sniper. On his second attempt, barely passing the wind reading tests, his instructors noted adequate but not exceptional. Struggles with mirage interpretation. After the missed shot in Ramadi, the one that haunts his dreams, Mitchell returns to Camp Lejeune in July 2004 for his post-deployment leave. He should be relaxing. Instead, he's obsessed. He replays that shot 1,000 times. The wind was swirling. He estimated wrong. 4 men died. He starts carrying a notebook everywhere. He sits outside the barracks, watching leaves move, feeling wind on his face, writing down observations. Is what he think he's losing it?
I would imagine. I think he's losing it?
Mitch, you're off duty, man. Let it go. He can't let it go. August 3rd, 2004. Mitchell is helping his father repair an air conditioning unit on a commercial building's rooftop. It's windy, gusts coming from the west at maybe 10 miles per hour. His father sets up a handheld anemometer, a small spinning cup wind meter, to measure airflow near the HVAC exhaust. Mitchell watches the device spin. Then he looks across the rooftop to another HVAC unit 50 yards away. Its exhaust is blowing in a completely different direction. Why is the wind different over there, he asks his father. His father shrugs. Building creates eddies. Wind hits one side, swirls around. That's why we measure it before we install. Got to know which way the heat exhausts. Mitchell stares at the 2 HVAC units. Different wind directions, 50 yards apart. That's when it hits him. What if you could measure wind, not where you're standing, but where the bullet is flying? The idea seems absurd at first. You'd need sensors downrange. But you can't exactly walk 800 yards into enemy territory to set up weather instruments. But Mitchell keeps thinking, what if you didn't need physical sensors? What if you could measure wind by watching how something else moves through it? He remembers something from sniper school. Mirage reading works because you're watching heat waves bend through moving air. The mirage moves because wind pushes it. It's indirect measurement, observing the effect, not the cause. But what if you could do the same thing with something more precise? Something you could measure exactly. August 10th, 2004. Mitchell is at the Camp Lejeune rifle range, watching a corporal zero his rifle. The corporal fires 3 shots. The bullet vapor trails faint gray lines of condensation in the humid North Carolina air. Curve slightly left. Wind push. Mitchell sees it. The vapor trail is showing him exactly how wind is affecting the bullet's path. His pulse quickens. Vapor trails only last a second, but what if you could track them, measure them, use them to calculate wind drift in real time? That night, Mitchell starts sketching in his notebook. His idea is crude, probably crazy, but it won't leave him alone. Mitchell doesn't have access to a lab. He has a garage, a laptop, and $340 of his MET. Own money. August 2004. Mitchell buys a used digital camcorder at a pawn shop for $85. He buys a cheap laser pointer for $12. He downloads free video editing software. His plan is simple. Maybe too simple. Step 1. Mount a camera next to the sniper scope. Step 2. Film the vapor trail from the bullet. Step 3. Measure how far the trail drifts from the point of aim. Step 4. Use that drift to calculate wind speed between shooter and target. On paper, it's brilliant. In reality, it's a disaster. His first test is August 19, 2004, at the Camp Lejeune range during off hours. He duct tapes the camcorder to his M40A3 rifle. He fires. The recoil sends the camera flying off the rifle and into the dirt. It shatters. $85 gone. Mitchell curses, buys another camera, tries again. Second test, he wraps the camera in foam, uses zip ties instead of duct tape, fires. The camera stays attached, but the footage is useless. The camera's autofocus can't track a bullet moving 2,800 feet per second. The vapor trail appears for maybe 0.3 seconds, a blur across the frame. Third test, Mitchell sets the camera to manual focus, aimed at infinity. Better, but the vapor trail is so faint it's barely visible. He needs more contrast. September 2nd, 2004. Mitchell has an idea. He goes to Home Depot and buys a sheet of black poster board for $3. He sets it up downrange at 100 yards as a backdrop. Fires, watches the footage, and there it is. The vapor trail, crisp and visible against the black background, curves 3 inches to the left in the half second before it dissipates. Mitchell rewinds the footage, watches again, measures the curve with a ruler against the screen. 3 inches at 100 yards. With the known ballistic coefficient of his 308 federal gold medal match ammunition, he can calculate backward wind at approximately 12 miles per hour, left to right. He checks the ranger's wind flag. It reads 11. Holy cow. It works. Mitchell's hands shake as he writes notes. The prototype is crude, borderline ridiculous. He's literally holding a camcorder against a rifle, filming shots, then watching the footage afterward to calculate wind. It's slow. It's clunky. But the concept is sound. September 15th, 2004. Mitchell shows his setup to his spotter, Lance Corporal Danny Ortega. Ortega watches him film a shot, measure the vapor trail drift, calculate wind. Dude, Ortega says slowly, that's brilliant, but also, that's gotta be against some regulation. You're modifying a weapon system without authorization. You could get NJP'd, non-judicial punishment, military discipline. Mitchell nods. Yeah, probably. You going to stop? Mitchell looks at his notebook filled with calculations and sketches. No, he says. I'm going to make this work. Then I'm going to show command. Ortega grins. That is insane. I'm in. September 2004, Camp Lejeune, Scout Sniper Platoon. Mitchell requests a meeting with his platoon commander, Captain Richard Voss. He brings his laptop, his notebook, and his duct-taped camera prototype. Sir, I've developed a method to measure wind downrange using bullet vapor trails. I'd like permission to test it formally. Captain Voss listens to the pitch, watches the camcorder footage, sees the calculations, then leans back in his chair and sighs. Corporal, I appreciate your initiative, but this is, how do I put this, not how innovation works in the Marine Corps. You're a 23-year-old E4 with a high school diploma. We have PhDs at Quantico working on sniper technology. We have contractors at Aberdeen Proving Ground with million-dollar budgets. And you think you've solved wind reading with an $85 camera from a pawn shop? Sir, the concept is sound. The data is from a 100-yard range with perfect conditions. Combat isn't perfect. And even if this worked, which I doubt, you've modified a weapon system without authorization. That's a paperwork nightmare. Do you know how many forms I'd have to fill out to submit this up the chain? Mitchell's jaw tightens. Sir, snipers are missing shots because we can't read wind. This could save lives. Voss's expression softens slightly. I know you mean well, but the Marine Corps doesn't adopt technology from corporals with home experiments. Write up your idea as a hedge craft. Someone at Quantico will review it. 2 or 3 years. Mitchell knows what that means, never. He leaves the office. Ortega is waiting outside. What did he say? He said no. So what now? Mitchell thinks for a long moment. We keep testing. We prove it works. Then they can't ignore us. October 2004. Mitchell and Ortega run unauthorized tests during off hours at the range. They film 50 shots in varying wind conditions, measure vapor trail drift, calculate wind speed, then compare it to the range's anemometer readings. Their accuracy, 87%. Word spreads through the sniper platoon. Some Marines think it's genius. Others think it's career suicide, messing with equipment, conducting unauthorized tests, ignoring chain of command. November 3rd, 2004. Mitchell gets summoned to a meeting. Not with his captain, with the Scout Sniper School Commandant, Colonel Frank Delaney, and 2 civilian contractors from Quantico's Ballistics Research Division. Mitchell walks into the conference room. 6 men sit at a table. He recognizes one, Dr. Robert Williams, the Aberdeen ballistics expert who published the paper saying real-time wind reading was impossible. This is either his big break or his court-martial. Colonel Delaney speaks first. Corporal Mitchell, I've heard you've been conducting experiments, modifying weapons, operating outside proper channels. Sir, I'm not finished. Delaney's face is unreadable. I've also heard these experiments might actually work. Dr. Williams here is skeptical, very skeptical. So I brought him down from Maryland to watch a demonstration. If your idea has merit, we'll talk. If it's garbage, you'll face disciplinary action for wasting everyone's time and violating about 12 regulations. Clear? Crystal, sir. November 5th, 2004, Camp Lejeune Rifle Range. Mitchell sets up his prototype, now slightly more refined, with a better camera mount. The wind is gusting at 15 miles per hour, variable direction. Perfect test conditions, meaning terrible shooting conditions. Dr. Williams watches, arms crossed. Corporal, I've spent 20 years studying ballistics. Real-time wind measurement across distance requires sensor arrays, telemetry, computational fluid dynamics. You're telling me a camcorder can do that? Not exactly, sir. I'm measuring the effect of wind on the bullet. The vapor trail shows drift. I calculate backward. That's indirect measurement. Error-prone. Yes, sir. But better than guessing. Mitchell fires, films the shot, reviews the footage on his laptop, measures vapor trail drift, calculates wind speed, 14.7 miles per hour, quartering from the right. He walks to the range's weather station, reads the anemometer, 15.2 miles per hour, right to left. Dr. Williams stares at the numbers. Again, he says. Mitchell fires 10 more shots. His calculations average 14.9 miles per hour. The anemometer reads 15.2 miles per hour. Margin of error, 2%. The room erupts. If you're learning something new about military innovation, hit that subscribe button so you never miss these untold stories. We're just getting to the best part. One of the Quantico contractors says, "This violates every protocol." Dr. Williams cuts him off. "It also works." Colonel Delaney stands, looks at Mitchell. "Corporal, you've broken about 15 rules getting here, but this has potential. I'm authorizing formal testing. We're taking this to Quantico." Mitchell exhales for what feels like the first time in an hour. "Thank you, sir." January 2005, Marine Corps Base Quantico, Virginia. The Marine Corps Warfighting Lab takes Mitchell's prototype and does what the military does best, over-engineers it. They replace his camcorder with a high-speed ballistic camera capable of capturing 1,000 frames per second. They develop proprietary software to automatically track vapor trails and calculate drift. They integrate the system with a laser rangefinder and ballistic computer. By March 2005, they have a functional prototype, the VT1 Vapor Trail Wind Compensation System. It's mounted on an M40A3 rifle. Total weight, 14 pounds, including the camera module and processing unit. It runs on lithium batteries that last 6 hours. Formal testing begins April 12, 2005, at Quantico's Weapons Training Battalion range. 12 Marine Scout snipers, ranging from corporals to gunnery sergeants, fire 600 rounds over 3 days in varying wind conditions: calm, steady, gusting, swirling. Half the shots use traditional wind reading techniques. Half use Mitchell's VT1 system. The results stun everyone. Traditional methods: 34% first-round hit rate at 600 to 800 yards. VT1 system: 71% first-round hit rate at 600 to 800 yards. The system works even better at longer ranges. At 1,000 yards, where wind reading becomes exponentially harder, traditional methods: 18% first-round hit rate. VT1 system: 62% first-round hit rate.
And can we not cause a reason to believe it?
Dr. Williams, now a convert, writes in his report, Corporal Mitchell's concept fundamentally changes wind estimation from prediction to measurement by observing bullet behavior in real time. The system accounts for variables, thermals, eddies, crosswinds, that are impossible to predict from the firing position. This represents a paradigm shift in precision marksmanship. The Marine Corps fast-tracks the VT1 for deployment. By August 2005, 20 systems are shipped to Iraq for combat evaluation. September 14, 2005. Fallujah, Iraq. Sergeant Carlos Ruiz crouches on a rooftop overlooking Route, Michigan, the main highway through Fallujah. He's one of the first snipers issued the VT1 system. An insurgent machine gun team is setting up 750 yards away, preparing to ambush a convoy. The wind is vicious, swirling gusts coming off the Euphrates, probably 20 miles per hour. But the direction keeps changing. With traditional methods, Ruiz would take a shot, miss, adjust, fire again. By then, the insurgents would be gone or shooting back. Instead, Ruiz powers up the VT1. He fires a single ranging shot at a safe backstop, a concrete wall near the target. The system's camera captures the vapor trail, measures drift, calculates wind, 22 miles per hour, quartering left at 45 degrees. The ballistic computer automatically adjusts his aim point. Ruiz shifts his crosshair to the new position, breathes, squeeze. The insurgent machine gunner drops. One shot. Confirmed kill. Ruiz's spotter, Lance Corporal Mike Hanadens, stares through his spotting scope. Holy cow, you just made that look easy. VIS 8 134 6.5 56.3. The pre-VT1 average, 4.2 rounds. The difference isn't just ammunition efficiency, it's survivability. Fewer shots mean less time exposed, fewer muzzle flashes, less chance of enemy counter-snipers pinpointing their position. By December 2005, Marine snipers using VT1 systems have suffered 0 combat fatalities. Up 750 yards away, preparing to ambush a convoy. The wind is vicious, swirling dusts coming off the Euphrates, probably 20 miles per hour. But the direction keeps changing. With traditional methods, Ruiz would take a shot, miss, adjust, fire again. By then, the insurgents would be gone or shooting back. Instead, Ruiz powers up the VT1. He fires a single ranging shot at a safe backstop, a concrete wall near the target. The system's camera captures the vapor trail, measures drift, calculates wind, 22 miles per hour, quartering left at 45 degrees. The ballistic computer automatically adjusts his aim point. Ruiz shifts his crosshair to the new position, breathes, squeeze. The insurgent machine gunner drops. One shot. Confirmed kill. Ruiz's spotter, Lance Corporal Mike Hanadens, stares through his spotting scope. Holy cow, you just made that look easy. VIS 8 134 6.5 56.3. The pre-VT1 average, 4.2 rounds. The difference isn't just ammunition efficiency, it's survivability. Fewer shots mean less time exposed, fewer muzzle flashes, less chance of enemy counter-snipers pinpointing their position. By December 2005, Marine snipers using VT1 systems have suffered 0 combat fatalities. In the same period the previous year, without the system, 14 snipers died. Enemy reaction. Captured insurgent communications intercepted by Marine intelligence in January 2006 reveal growing fear. An Al-Qaeda in Iraq fighter recorded in a safe house in Ramadi. The American snipers have changed. Before, if you move fast, you could escape after the first shot. Now the first shot kills every time. They have new magic. We cannot fight their snipers anymore. A letter found on a killed insurgent commander, dated February 2006. Do not engage American sniper positions. They do not miss. Move only at night or in dust storms when their vision is obscured. The VT1 system has done what bullets alone couldn't, created a psychological deterrent. Insurgents stop moving. During the day, they abandon positions when they suspect a Marine sniper is present. Entire neighborhoods become safer because the enemy fears engagement. March 2006, Camp Lejeune. Corporal Mitchell, now Sergeant Mitchell, after a meritorious promotion, visits the Scout Sniper School as a guest instructor. He demonstrates the VT1 system to a class of new students. After the demonstration, a young corporal approaches him. Sergeant, is it true you built the first prototype in your garage? Mitchell smiles. With a pawn shop camcorder and duct tape, yeah. And they almost court-martialed you for it? Almost. But they didn't. The student hesitates. So if I have an idea that seems crazy, I should. You should test it, prove it, then make them listen. The Marine Corps doesn't care about your rank if your idea saves lives. They care about results. June 2006. The numbers: after 1 year of combat deployment, VT1 equipped snipers, 1,847 confirmed kills, 71% first round hit rate. Average shots per kill, 1.4 rounds, down from 4.2. Sniper fatalities, 2, down from 14 the previous year. Enemy KIA per sniper team, 3.2 times higher than pre-VT1. Ammunition saved, over 5,000 rounds, valued at $12,000. But the most important number, estimated lives saved on the friendly side, 38 Marines and soldiers who would have died in ambushes at VT1-equipped snipers prevented. Dunnery Sergeant Mike Callahan, a 19-year sniper veteran, writes in a letter to Mitchell, "I've been shooting for 2 decades. I've trained hundreds of Marines. Your system made me a better sniper in 1 day than 20 years of experience did. Because of you, 38 kids went home to their families. That's your legacy." Post-war, the VT1 system evolved rapidly. By 2008, Lockheed Martin had partnered with the Marine Corps to develop the VT2, a fully integrated system combining vapor trail analysis, laser aim finding, and ballistic computation in a single 8-pound unit. It became standard issue for Marine Scout snipers. In 2011, the U.S. Army adopted a modified version called the Wind Trace System, WTS, for its precision sniper rifle program. By 2015, the technology had spread to Allied militaries, British SAS, Canadian JTF-2, Australian SAR, Israeli Sayeret Matkal. The fundamental concept, measuring wind effect in real time rather than predicting it, became the foundation for modern sniper ballistic computers. Today's systems use advanced optics, AI-assisted image recognition, and cloud-connected weather data, but they all trace back to a Corporal with a camcorder in 2004. By 2020, over 14,000 VT series systems had been fielded globally. Manufacturers estimate the technology has been used in more than 50,000 combat engagements across Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and classified operations worldwide. The humble hero, James Mitchell, left the Marine Corps in 2009 as a staff sergeant. He was offered lucrative positions with defense contractors. Lockheed Martin offered him $180,000 a year to consult on VT2 development. He turned them down. Instead, he went home to Tennessee and took over his father's HVAC business. When a Marine Corps Times reporter tracked him down in 2013 for an interview about the VT system's success, Mitchell was uncomfortable with the attention. "I didn't invent anything new," he said. "I just watched bullets and did some math. Thousands of Marines use that system now, and they're the ones doing the hard work. They're the heroes. I just gave them a tool." The reporter asked if he regretted leaving the Marine Corps, missing out on the recognition and accolades. Mitchell shook his head. "I did what I joined to do, help Marines stay alive and complete the mission. That's done. Now I fix air conditioners. It's a good life." He still keeps his original notebook, the one from August 2004, filled with sketches and calculations, in a drawer at home. He never shows it to anyone. The lesson. In 2018, the Marine Corps Warfighting Lab published a case study titled Innovation from the Bottom Up, the VT1 Story. It's now required reading at officer, candidate school and staff NCO Academy. The conclusion reads, "Corporal Mitchell succeeded where PhDs failed, not because he was smarter, but because he refused to accept impossible as an answer. Rank, credentials, and formal education matter far less than obsession, creativity, and the willingness to be wrong 100 times to be right once." The Marine Corps must cultivate environments where corporals feel empowered to challenge doctrine, because sometimes the best ideas come from the garage, not the laboratory. Sergeant Mike Callahan's letter to Mitchell, written in 2006, hangs in the Scout Sniper School at Quantico. Because of you, we came home.